Hey folks, JD here, and today we're looking at this guy. This is the flight test of the Syma X5UC. Such a lovely shape. Doesn't matter how many times I see it, it really does stand out as such a great shape to me. So we've got two batteries, one plugged in and ready to go, and the other one sitting around waiting. So both charged. Both should be good for double flight time. A couple of things I've done this morning, just make sure I've come with the SD card, made sure the camera's on nice and still, nice and steady. Also been through the pre-flight checks, made sure that all of these propellers are on, as I didn't fit them. Make sure that all the landing sprigs are on nice and safely as well, and that's pretty much everything for this particular copter. Everything else is already moulded, all screws are all done up quite nice and tight. So without further ado, let's take her up. So what we'll do is we'll push and hold once, there we go, on the on button. You know it's on when you've got the green LEDs denoting the back and the orange LEDs denoting the front. Let's pop her down. Now then, let's turn on the transmitter. Once up, once down, binds to the quadcopter. Now we should have a different LED display. They should all be nice and solid, not flashing. So that's great. Alright, so let's start recording some video. And then let's take her up with this particular button here. You should see that the motors start and she takes off up to an altitude in which the barometer then takes over. There we go, we're up, we're active. A little bit bobby up and down. But let's bring it back to me. Let's see, there's a little bit of a breeze here today. Not much, as you can see from the trees right in front of me. But she seems a little bit bobby up and down. First impressions with this are exactly the same as when we flew the X5UW. They are such great little copters, same as any Symas, that anybody can really pick up and fly. They really are great out of the box. This does seem to be really underpowered though. Did you see that turn? Really doesn't seem to be wanting to go anywhere. I don't know. Yeah, that was really strange, almost as if the motors aren't powerful enough to stop it mid-flight. Let's see if we can do it again, just to demonstrate. So we'll take her up, turn her around, and then accelerate forward. See, there's that lag. Didn't have that in the last one. That is quite strange. Just to be on the safe side, I don't like how she's flying. Let's bring her down. Let's stop the motors just with the same button as it was for you guys to take off. Now let's just calibrate the gyros again, because there's something that doesn't feel right about this copter. She seems very bobby up and downy. She doesn't seem to be holding her altitude very well at all. Let's have a little look. See, she's very up and down, which, you know, you can excuse to some extent because her altitude hold is not GPS driven, therefore it is barometer driven. It is such a cold day today. She's probably getting a few different pressure readouts, but still you would really hope that it would be a little bit better. Look at it, that's me pitching forward. There is a terrible lag, wow! That is crazy! Okay, let's take her up, let's spin her around. Sorry about this intense glare with the sun, folks. I'm hoping soon to get a new camera that will be a little bit better in high light situations. See, she's, I think all in all, she's definitely struggling a bit. And as you can see, there is no wind from the trees in front. So we have an extremely calm day. Very loud motors. let's see if we can increase the speed of her. That normally does it with a lot of quadcopters. As soon as you increase the speed a little bit, they get a little bit better. He's quite quick to react when you want to accelerate upwards, like that. And when you want to decrease your altitude. Doesn't seem to be there. When you turn him, and then when you accelerate, he doesn't seem to auto-correct and want to come forward very well. See? He just seems really, really laggy on the power. Okay. Well, it is fun to fly, I'll be honest. It is. It feels just like another Syma copter. You know it's going to be reliable. But it does feel as if there is something missing. Going backwards is a different matter. She flies backwards with quite an increased force. If I can just show you that. So we go forwards a little way, right? And then I'll stop her, and then we push her backwards, and she really does fly backwards really quickly. Not great when it comes to powering on after an initial corner. I quite expect, and we've seen this a lot recently, that when it comes to powering on a quadcopter, after you make a corner, you power on, and then there's no floating backwards, there's just that spin forward. I've become really used to that with a lot of the quadcopters that we have flown. This guy, unfortunately, not. I don't remember this being an issue in the UW, which I think is the successor to this. So they obviously must have sorted that out in order for that quadcopter, because I remember that being really stable, really, really nimble, where this guy isn't. But yeah, so they must have sorted it out there. Obviously the main two differences between those two copters is one is the UW is FPV, the UC, which is this one, is not FPV, doesn't even have an FPV holder or anything like that. But does have the ability to record video, which I'm hoping is what this is doing now. Oh, this looks like the batteries are going. I'm flat out and nothing. Yeah, there we are. She's landed and turned herself off. Right. So, let's unplug that. And let's... Wow, that battery is really quite warm. Crazy. And let's plug this one in. Oh, this one seems to be dead. There's nothing. Yeah, this one is dead, folks. Let's put the dead one in the depleted one rather, in my pocket. Whereas this battery here, yeah, this one is totally gone. Try and see, give it a bit of force there, in case the contacts weren't meeting. No, totally gone, totally dead. That's it. So we've only got, even though we've had the two batteries, only one of them work. That's a real shame, that's a real letdown. Right, well, I tell you what then, folks, let's get straight into the verdict. I'll order a new battery, and then I'll come back out and we'll do another recording with this particular quadcopter with the two batteries a little bit further on down the line. So what is there to say about this copter? Well, this would be, I'm guessing, this would be the first copter in the line of the two new style drones. So you've got the UC and you've got the UW. The UW seems to have a lot of these functions fixed, so don't be put off from getting that one, I would say. This one, unfortunately, does seem to be a little bit buggy. It doesn't seem to want to turn correctly. After you've turned and your initial pull back to come back in a different direction, she tends to hang there a little bit. Think of it a little bit like turbo lag. You put your foot down on the accelerator, a couple of seconds goes past, and then it picks up. It's a lot like that. So as you're coming around, you'll turn corners and you'll point forward, and it'll take a while in order for him to come back. But in saying that, if you do crank up the power to high, better to respond, although that that lag is still there. Auto takeoff and auto landing, fantastic, works every time. 360 flips didn't work at all. Recording video and photo, well, fingers crossed, we'll see what happens when I take this SD card back out and see if we have any video there. Yeah, all in all, it seems to be quite a fun copter. Don't be expecting too much though, and honestly I wouldn't go for this one. I would go for the UW, because then you get the added features of FPV as well. But in saying that, this isn't terrible, it just needs to have the kinks fixed. So there we are, folks. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and hello and thank you to all the new subscribers. Hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.